Hi, everyone. It's Mindy Eggen, and I am excited to introduce to you the white version of the Gina K Designs Fuse foiling system. So, today I'm going to walk through the machine if you've never seen this one before, and I'm also going to be creating a product with one of the new poly glaze sheets that have just been released. If you are not familiar with the Gina K Designs Fuse foiling system, it's essentially like a laminator, but this is specifically designed for crafters for many different types of products, like anywhere from vellum to heavy cardstock. You have your button on the back to turn it on. And at the time of this video, this is a US Canada plug-in only. We have 5 heat settings, so that's just depending on the type of product or material that you are using. In the box, you are getting an owner's manual, which, if you've never used the fused foiling system before, I do recommend looking over. You also get a carrier sheet, and then there is 2 toner card designs and some foil to get you started. The fused foiling system is meant to work with any foil that is designed for laminator style foiling. So if you have black toner panels or the poly glaze, that is what this is meant for. A while back, Gina released a fuse in an amethyst color for her birthday special. So this is essentially the exact same thing, just in white. There are also some new poly glaze sheets. So we have a blanket of snow, we have bold balloons, Superstar with all of those really fun stars on them. Favorite Floral, which is gorgeous. Then we have one filled with hearts. This is called You Have My Heart. We have layered candles. And then there is some white polyglaze. So the white polyglaze has already been previously released. I just happen to have this in my box. There are 2 of them here that I do want to take a little further look at. So first, let's dig these out. Now, the polyglaze sheets, if you're familiar with toner, which is black toner, it's essentially like the same thing. It's like a glue type of, I don't want to say glue, but the foil sticks to toner or polyglaze. Polyglaze is a little bit tinted. It's not black, and it gives just the most amazing results. The layered candle set is pretty special because there is already a stencil in Gina K Designs collection. So you could foil your panel and then you can use this stencil to color in your image. There's 2 layers to this particular stencil. I'm going to have links for everything that I'm showing today listed down below in my video description and over on my blog if you're interested in picking any of these products up. Now, in each of these packs, you're getting 10 sheets of poly glaze and they come in 4¼ by 5½ inch. This is one of the candles I already had foiled in a gold foil. It is so stunning in person. Camera is one of the hardest things that I've had to try and capture foil on. This other set is the bold balloons, which there is also a stencil in Gina's collection already for this as well, to quickly color in these balloons where you can overlap them and create new colors. So super fun, and I'm excited to see this in Gina's collection. I will be working with this in a different video, and I do have other videos on my channel using polyglaze and the fuse foiling system in the amethyst version. Now, I'm not sure how new these are, but these were some packs of foil. These are transfer foils, which is meant for your fuse foiling system. I seen these in Gina's store and I picked up a few packs. I actually just got them the day before filming this video, so I just wanted to give them a shot. Now let's get to foiling. So I don't have this warmed up yet. I'm going to turn it on. So I'm hitting the button in the back of the fuse foiling system. And then I'm going to hit the blue button in the center and turn my setting to 3. So that is going to blink red until it is heated up to that level. And then the light's going to turn green. One of the things I absolutely love about the fuse foiling system is it heats up super fast. I'm also bringing out my carrier sheet, which we will need. And then I'm going to be using the blanket of snow poly glaze. Just some gorgeous larger size snowflakes on here. And I'm going to use a silver foil to go with this. So these packs, there's like 4 different types of silver in this pack. There's like a matte silver, a real shiny silver, a pewter, and then there was that zebra stripe. So I'm going to use this really shiny silver and I am going to trim that foil sheet down to fit the size of my card panel. So I'm just using some large scissors to cut that off. I'm going to take that scrap, set it off on the side. I'll be using that. The next thing that is helpful to do is to take a Swiffer cloth and kind of brush over your polyglaze panel and the back of your foil. That just helps get rid of any dust, things like that that we can't really see and might get in the way of our foil. So now the sandwich for this is you want your pretty side of your polyglaze or the printed side facing up, and then we want the pretty side of our foil facing up. So everything should be facing up. We place the foil on top of the polyglaze panel and then place that in our carrier sheet. Now, when you are putting this in your fuse, always go with the folded side going in first. Now, this is a 6-inch opening, and you want to make sure your carrier sheet is pretty centered in that opening and then just guide it in until the rollers grab it. Don't force it, don't pull on it, just let it kind of guide it through. For sentiment, I am using the Holiday Floral Polyglaze. These are also on the Gina K Designs website. They match the Holiday Floral stamp set that is currently out of stock, but I really loved the sentiment in this, and there is a coordinating die for it. So I took that scrap piece of foil that I had and I trimmed it down to fit my sentiment. Again, I'm going to place it in my carrier sheet and then feed this through the system. Now, the polyglaze sheets for the holiday floral um, are sold on the website. The holiday floral set was actually part of the card kit, which at the time of this video is sold out. So just be sure to keep an eye on that for the next release when they get sold individually. But the polyglaze, that is sold separately. So here I did my peel and then reveal, and I have all of these gorgeous shiny silver snowflakes. Again, really hard to capture on camera how gorgeous it is. It's something that you definitely just need to see in person. And every time I've seen somebody, their first reaction is just wow. Now I'm saving that scrap that I peeled off from my foiled sheet, and I'm going to reuse this. And that is where the white poly glaze comes in. So I am going to trim the white poly glaze to be the size of my foil sheet here with white poly glaze. You want to make sure that you are covering the entire panel of the white. Otherwise, it can transfer onto your carrier sheet. The way you can tell the difference of the front and the back is the front of the white poly glaze is shiny. It kind of has a gloss to it, whereas the back is more of a matte finish. So again, I have all of the pretty sides facing up, the shiny side of the white poly glaze, the pretty side of my foil, and I'm going to place this in my carrier sheet. Again, trying to make sure that that foil covers all of that white because any white that's overhanging will transfer to the carrier sheet, which is not going to hurt your carrier sheet at all, but I just want you to be aware of that. So while that's going through the fuse, I can peel away to see my sentiment. Now, I did have a little bit of overfoiling. I had some silver specks, so I probably could maybe turn my machine down to 2, but I knew I was going to die cut this out, so I'm not going to worry about it, and I think it was kind of pretty. Now here is the reveal for that white polyglaze sheet that we used. And this is such a great way to use your scraps. So if you're doing any shopping today, I do highly recommend picking up the white polyglaze. Now I could have also added another color of foil on top of this and run it through to make my snowflakes a different color, but I'm going to leave them as white. I will use this in a different card project. I have a video that is using the white polyglaze that I will try and link down below or in the corner of this video. So for this card, my thought process on this is using the circle windows plate. So I already had that die cut out because I'm going to kind of use that as a guide. I wanted to add ink blending over my snowflakes. So yes, you can absolutely ink blend over your foiled panels. I'm not sure I'd really recommend foiling or ink blending before foiling. I've never tried it, but I would think that the ink might get in the way of your poly glaze. So I would foil after. Now, the colors that I'm using is going to be medium orchid, and then I'm going to come in with medium lilac. Now, you can see I'm bringing in that die cut piece with the windows as a guide so that I know exactly what parts of my panel are going to show through the circles. And I want to make sure that I'm getting some of that purple, some of that kind of pinkish purple, and then I decided I wanted to step it up a little bit more. So I am bringing in a smaller blending brush, the mini blending brush from Gina K Designs, and I am using blue denim here. And that's going to add just a little bit of contrast to that. So I will keep kind of going around my card panel and just filling in that blue where it needs to be. If you have never tried foiling before, either with polyglaze or toner sheets, I do highly recommend it, and this is a great time to start. I also really love the polyglaze. I have never had a bad foil panel using the polyglaze, so I'm really happy that Gina came out with these. And if you already have a system like the Mink machine or if you have the amethyst version, you won't need the white one. This video is just showing you that there is a white option available now. Now I'm going to be doing some die cutting. So I brought in my holiday floral stamp set, which has the coordinating die for my sentiment. And I'm also going to be using a die off of Master Layouts 2. Disregard that large piece of white cardstock. I didn't need it. I don't know what I was thinking. But I'm using the intricate die cut machine to die cut out my sentiment. And when I die cut, I also die cut it about 3 more times out of white cardstock. And then I'm layering it together, and that is going to add dimension to this. So I have my Connect glue in a fine tip bottle that I use to adhere those together. I'm then taking my foiled panel and I am going to use that Master Layouts 2 die. This is going to fit perfectly behind my circle windows. So here I'm making sure everything is lining up perfectly, which it does. And then I'm going to pop up at that circle window using the Gina K Designs foam strips. I really thought about turning this into a shaker. I think that'd be pretty, but today's video is really just focusing on the foiling. So I think I'll save a shaker card for another video because I do have some other ideas with those balloons and candles. So I had just gone around the entire edge of that panel and also put some of those foam strips in the center to help give that some support. I removed the backing and then I'm placing that over my foil panel. So now I have these 3 windows with those different colors in there, which I think are just gorgeous. And I'm going to trim off any excess that might be showing of the foil panel just using my scissors. For the sentiment, I decided I wanted that to go kind of more in the center, which is going to overlap one of the windows. So I'm popping up one end of it using the rest of those foam strips. Before I add my sentiment, I just added some tape runner to the back of my panel, and I'm adding that to a card front I created out of white cardstock that is cut to 4¼ by 5½. Now I'm removing the backing of those foam strips and I'm adding liquid glue to the other side. So you'll be able to see the liquid glue is going to go directly on the front of the card, and the part where I have the foam strips is overlapping that window. And then that's going to finish up the card project. I decided not to add any embellishments because I let the foil kind of take over the show. It is so shiny. Love that silver on there. And there are so many options of foil that you can use with your poly glaze. Again, all of the supplies used today will be listed down below in the video description and over on my blog. And I do have quite a few videos using Gina's fuse foiling system, whether it be in this white version now or in the amethyst version. I do have quite a few of those videos linked on my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you again soon.